to the Inner Huddle Extra Time.
Hello and welcome along to another Extra Time edition of the Inner Huddle podcast. I'm Perry Cocking from Pezzers Football, former Premier League Academy coach and youth scout. And today I will be delving back into my book that I've written for football parents and coaches called Did You Win, Did You Score? How to Help Your Child Succeed at Football and Life. And I choose these chapters through sort of relevant things that have been going on in my own coaching journey and questions that I've been asked. And I'm going to dive straight into chapter 28 of the book. And it is, don't be obsessed with getting your child scouted by a professional club. I almost tripped over that. And I try and do these. In fact, every single episode I've ever done of the Inner Huddle podcast has been in one take. I've restarted a few times, but once I get going, everything's in there, mistakes and all, probably due to the lack of editing skills I've got. So we try and go through with one take all the way through, and then just put an intro and an outro on the end and go for it. So I shall say that again, chapter 28. Don't be obsessed with your child getting scouted by a professional club. And the opening quote is one of my own, which is, be obsessed with continual personal individual improvement. Not one of my classics, and there's many different variations of that from people who are much more well known than I am, but that's my version of it. Be obsessed with continual personal individual improvement, and hopefully the following chapter will explain why. Do not be obsessed with getting your child signed up at a professional club. Instead, be obsessed with their continual enjoyment and personal development every single day, and the rest will take care of itself. Don't be obsessed with the possible outcome. Be obsessed with the process. The word obsessed might seem a bit extreme, but I have seen the desire from parents for their child to be signed by a professional academy turn into an obsession on numerous occasions. One of the biggest bits of advice I ever give is to not be obsessed with becoming a pro player, but instead be obsessed with individual, continual personal development. I once told a parent that they were obsessed with their child becoming a professional player. They told me that it was good to be obsessed. They were getting it all the wrong way around. Yes, be obsessed, but not with the outcome, which in this case is being a pro, but with the process, which is training and improvement. You really have to get into this mindset if you're going to help your child to fulfill their potential. I don't mean to simply become a good player, I mean seriously having a chance of fulfilling their potential. Otherwise, you're in danger of chasing the dream. Dream chasers believe all they need to do is put their child in the right team, in the right league, and somehow someone will spot their talent. It doesn't work like that. I've known parents who generally believe their child is good enough for a professional academy, but the child can't even control the ball when it's zipped to them at pace or use their left foot. The process of training and improvement is the key to fulfilling potential, not being in the right place at the right time. Playing football should be the reward for playing football. Not pro contracts, not trophies, not money, and not to please anyone else. If a child falls in love with the game and the process of deliberate practice, plus works on continual personal development, every opportunity they get, then all those other things will take care of themselves along the way. So it's a very short chapter, and I guess a lot of you might resonate, or some of it might resonate with a lot of you out there. It's easy to get obsessed, especially when you see other children maybe in the same team or the same class or the same school getting scouted or going to some fancy elite development centres and things like this, and it's a bit of a minefield for parents out there at the moment, and easily sucked in. We all see social media posts from friends about how their child's done wonderful and doing this and playing against this academy and whatever, but ignore that. That's not your concern. Your concern is your own child and their individual journey. Because what happens if you start doing that is you start looking at ways of taking shortcuts and try to quicken up the process, and that can lead to things like joining an extra team, one-to-one training, that kind of thing. Never compare your child to anybody else. Like I say, they're on their own journey, so be aware of it. It's very easy to become obsessed with it. I'm a parent myself, and I've had players in my child's team that I thought that my child was much better than, but they're getting all the praise because maybe the position they play, or they might be greedy players that score a lot of goals, and they've been touted to go to clubs, or they might even, some of them might get signed, and it's really easy to think, well, why is my son getting missed? They need to be in this league to get spotted, and your mind can go crazy. So be careful with it. It's the training that's the important thing, not how they're doing in the matches, but how they're doing in the training and their attitude towards it. So focus on personal, individual improvement rather than the outcomes of getting scouted, praise, Facebook, social media, trophies, medals, all those kind of things. They'll take care of themselves if the right training's done consistently well over a long period of time. I was a guest on a podcast yesterday, very similar to this one, called Little Boots Big Dreams, and that should be out soon, if not already, so look out for that one. But we talked at length about sort of the pressures of elite football and pro teams, and it was really useful, and I'll try and get the audio of that and put it out as an Inner Huddle podcast as well. So short and sweet on that one. Hope you liked it. Again, any questions, please get in touch. All the ways of getting in contact with me are in the links below the podcast. Please subscribe. I know we have listeners from all around the world, but very small percentage actually subscribe. It would really do me a great favour if you could subscribe or follow. And I will see you next time. But never forget that football isn't that important, but children are.